Unoptimized games only seems to be an issue when it comes to PC gaming. Games like Saints Row 2, Mafia 3, Assassin's Creed Unity, Grand Theft Auto 4, and Watch Dogs are notorious for being terrible PC ports. Yet, no one ever brings up the idea of unoptimized console games. Before we get into the main topic, let's briefly talk about game optimization, frames per second, and frame time. In basic terms, optimization is how a game manages and utilizes the software and hardware resources it's given. The goal is to make the game run at its best while using the least amount of resources. With a console, the optimization is a ton easier. Because consoles are built using the same resources, the devs can target those resources in development. For example, the PlayStation 3 has the same hardware and software no matter what model you're buying. Even if you buy the slim model compared to the super slim model, it's still the same hardware and software. On the other hand, because PC has so many different combinations of software and hardware, developers struggle to make games run great on all of it. Even with standardized resources on consoles have their fair share of unoptimized games. To analyze this, we gotta take a look at frames per second and frame time. Frames per second is the most common way of measuring games. That's essentially how many pictures are being displayed per second. However, frame time is just as important, but people don't look at it as often. Frame time is the amount of time that those pictures are displayed in 1 second. So if you're having 30 pictures a second, you want a consistent frame time. However, even sometimes when you're getting a consistent 30, you're getting an inconsistent frame time, which can make the game look like it's jittering. With that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the most unoptimized console games I know of. Grand Theft Auto 4. A notoriously bad PC port doesn't fare well on consoles either. Both console versions have a hard time maintaining 30 frames per second, especially the PlayStation 3 version. Even with a frame rate cap of 60, the Xbox One backwards compatibility for GTA 4 just can't reach a lock 60 in normal gameplay. Not only that, but we're also seeing a lot more inconsistent frame times as well. Saints Row and Saints Row 2. Both Saints Row and Saints Row 2 run awfully on the Xbox 360. Whether it's through Xbox One backwards compatibility or on the Xbox 360, they both have inconsistent FPS and frame time.
These things there. Oops.
About the third Street Saints' involvement.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This leaked security footage shows the leader of the Saints, recent fugitive and Saint Lieutenant Johnny Gat.
Far Cry 3. On the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, Far Cry 3 can't even maintain a stable 30 FPS.
Drive straight! You're making me miss!
How can I focus when it's shooting at me?
I found you on the beach. Welcome to Amanaki village. It is something, isn't it, huh?
Just Cause 3. Even just roaming around town causes the frame rate to dip below 30 frames a second, never mind when explosions and gunfights are happening. Xenon Racer. When I saw the Nintendo Switch version of Xenon Racer, I almost died. Not only does it look awful, but it runs at a terrible frame rate. These are just some of the examples that I know about. So it's interesting that the topic of unoptimized games always relates to PC gaming, even though the issue carries over to consoles as well. So why is it that unoptimized games seem to only be an issue on PC? Well, many PC gamers aim for higher frame rates compared to consoles. So when a game doesn't run good on their system, when their system should be fully capable of running the game well, they rightfully complain about it. On the flip side, you don't see the same amount of complaints from console gamers. Not that console players don't complain about this stuff. This might be due to the fact that the frames per second doesn't matter as much on consoles, so players won't notice as much when the game drops from 30 frames per second or runs lower than 30 frames a second. I'm a perfect example of this. Before I switched to PC gaming, I played on the PlayStation 3. At that time, I really never noticed the issues with frame rate in Grand Theft Auto 4. After playing on a PC with a 144Hz monitor, my eyes were now trained to see bad frame rates and dips. So going back to play these old games was a shock, because now I could see the frame rate problems that I was never able to pick up on before. Even though unoptimized games seems to be a PC-only issue, we can't ignore the fact that there's also unoptimized games on consoles as well.